On today's episode of RPG Book Club, we all learn a little bit about love. Welcome to RPG Book Club, a podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie Spiffle Weapon.
And today we'll be playing part 2 of Chapter 2 of Legend of Dragoon, Platinum Shadow. And we'll be stopping when we switch discs. This week is super duper short to play, at least. Like, there's a lot of good meat we'll probably get into, but, like, there's one boss and 1.5 dungeons. And the rest of it is just character, which is really, really good. But before we get into all of that, how was everybody's week?
So, I had a really exciting week. And by exciting, I mean fucking terrifying. So, The other day at work, okay, it's a bit of a long story. The other day at work, I'm sitting at my desk, just doing work, like normal, and I see, like, this little blue lightning bolt in my right eye, and then suddenly I've got, you know, like, when you look at the flash of a camera and you've got, like, that dark spot in your vision for a while? I had that dark spot for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I went,
whoops,
that's not good.
That doesn't sound good. That sounds like blindness.
No,
Yeah, it sounds like potential blindness. So I went on break, and I got on my phone, and I looked up lightning bolt in eye. And thankfully, it did not tell me what to do in the event that I got hit by Thor directly in my eye. It actually brought up information about retinal detachment. If you didn't know, your retina can detach from your eye. It's horrifying, and it will make you blind, and they have to do surgery on it. So, of course, I was nice and calm, except I wasn't at all, because I'm a ball of anxiety, literally.
Definitely is things I think of when I think of
Yeah, right? I'm like the calmest person. I have no neuroses or anything like that.
Not at all.
I was freaking out, and I knew that my mom had issues with potential retinal detachment at one point, so I messaged her, and of course my mom is like, you need to get to an eye doctor right fucking now. Not in those words, because my mom texts me like Toriel from Undertale.
About
it's adorable.
Butterscotch pies.
Yeah. I left work early, went and made an eye doctor's appointment, and I got an emergency eye doctor appointment, and they took pictures of my eye, and that was terrible. It was the first time I ever got dilated. I hate it. They showed me the pictures, and they're like, see this spot here? That's a hole in your retina.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
Whoops.
that was horrifying. So I got told to go to an ophthalmologist, which is a special retinal doctor. For those of you who don't know about eye stuff, I'm sorry, this is really long,
no, but
fine. It's going to turn into a PSA.
Yeah.
So,
and you know I'm all about PSAs.
Oh yeah, totally. So I went to the ophthalmologist, which was also horrifying because that's downtown, and I fucking hate driving downtown.
It should be illegal. Downtowns in all cities should be illegal.
For real. So, I finally made it against all odds. It was terrifying. I had to take the morning off of work, which was also terrifying because I hate taking time off of work that I didn't schedule in advance. But my manager was being real understanding. My mom was like, "He better well should be. Your sight's on the line." Got to the ophthalmologist, and and I'm going to be flying to my parents' place in West Virginia on Friday, so I've also got that on my mind. So I'm like, am I going to be able to go home for Christmas with this problem? And so, like, I'm just all sorts of panicking. Get through the initial part where I have like an assistant or nurse or whatever you call her. She was doing my vitals, and she was checking my peripheral vision, and she was checking like my actual vision. So like I had to read a vision chart and everything, and then she dilated me, and she was like, "There's literally no problems with your vision." So finally got through all the exams with the ophthalmologist, and he was super nice. And he actually looked at my eyes with a microscope, and he said, "Yeah, that's not a hole in your eye. Or in your retina. It's not, it's part of the eye. But anyway, he said, that's not a hole. It's an area of atrophy, which just means that it's a thinner part of the retina, which is normal in nearsighted people. And I am incredibly nearsighted."
Well, there you go.
So, and he told me...
Dude, I haven't had one.
Yeah.
I'm now going to keep a lookout for lightning bolts and stuff like that.
Lightning bolts and floaters. PSA, if you ever see like flashes in your eye, see an eye doctor immediately, because that's all signs of potential retinal detachment. My mom was seeing them for up to a couple of weeks before she finally found out she should go to an eye doctor. But yeah, it was horrifying. It was really like, I never thought that the phrase "you don't have a hole in your retina" could make me one of the happiest people alive. But here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. So, and he told me my eyes were healthy.
Apparently, it's retinal. It's a little funny to me that's called retinal atrophy. It's like, what? Did you forget to look at that spot in your eye for a long time? Oh, I forgot to use that part.
Yeah.
So it withered up.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
Always
like.
make sure to look at make sure to constantly be rotating your eyes and making sure you cover every spot. That way none of them feel neglected. Yeah. Like, oh man, that bottom right quadrant of my eye was just really rebelling. He really was like, he never paid any attention to me.
Friends don't let friends skip bottom right of your eye day.
Exactly.
So that was my exciting week.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
I gave my daughter the master bedroom and moved into a tiny bedroom, and everything is great because of it. So
nice.
She has a huge room to play in, and we have the balcony now, so
nice.
Works out. We're also like the type of people that could live in a tiny home, but not even furnish the tiny home. It'd just be like a loft and a TV with a PlayStation and a Chromecast, and it would be okay.
Oh man. Men really be living in houses that look like this and think it's okay. Am I right? Yeah, my week, well, it's actually been 2 weeks, for those of you who are paying attention to time out there in listener world, and can look at the timestamps and be like, oh, anyway, that's on me, because I had a nightmare this week where I had to move. I had an entire week to move, which is more time than I usually have, but it was still awful, because I didn't realize this till after the fact. I didn't realize this till after the fact when I was filling out my time cards, but I also worked more hours than I've ever worked at this new job in a single week.
Wow.
My hours were very, very high, and I was like, that explains a lot why this week was so hard, because I worked a shit ton of hours while I was supposed to be moving. And I had to clean, and I had to move I had to basically pack all of my ex's stuff into a giant pile. They didn't specifically ask me to pack up all of their shit, which is something that they should do. But it's hard to explain if I don't know exactly what they expected me to do, but I did. It took 6 hours. If I don't know how long it would take, I probably would have not done it, but I had already started doing it, you know what I mean? So I put an astronomical amount of work into packing all of their stuff. That way they could come and get it in 1 hour and not even say hey, thanks for organizing all my stuff in a nice giant pile.
No, why would they do that? That would be considerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they didn't know it took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, but still.
Based on the amount of things, I think you could estimate.
No. But anyway, at any rate,
I'm
they had
not
a lot of
giving
stuff. They had more. The amount of stuff they had that was left over from them moving out was more stuff than I have. Period. But at any rate, that was awful, and then the moving was awful, and the cleaning. The last day of my lease was Tuesday night at midnight, but of course I was actually there till Wednesday at 7 a.m. Stayed up all night. And I to all that time, I kept saying, you know what, y'all, I can still play Legend of Dragoon. I can still be there on Thursday
I can
morning.
do it.
That was a lie. I should have just bailed earlier. That way, y'all could have known about it. But I really thought I could do it, which is why I didn't bail until Thursday night.
It's fine.
Sorry. Sorry.
And like
anyway, it was a night.
Numerically, you probably could do it. From where you stopped, there's only was like an hour or so of after it. Most of it is reading,
but like
then you wouldn't have done good at work.
Yeah. We want you to do good at work.
Yeah, so anyway, it was a really rough week, and afterward, my body did that thing where... So I don't really get sick at all. Like, I'm very fortunate. Ever since I was like 15 or 16, I just never really get viruses or infections or diseases. But I do get... When my body doesn't like what I'm doing to it, it lets me know very, very severely. So I crashed really hard and was like dead for like 4 days. And everybody could tell. Everyone was like, "You need to go home. You're clearly like have like a really nasty cold." And I'm like, "No, I don't." You're like, you have like the flu. You're coughing. You're sneezing. Your voice is down here. And I'm like, "Nope, that's just my body telling me that it's mad at me for the way that I treated it."
Yeah. This is your body's equivalent of the "Why'd you unplug your USB without powering down the device first?"
Exactly.
That message.
Anyway, I'm still not completely over it. If you can hear my voice. So anyway, I'm moving to my new place though now, and I'm making decent money, and life is actually really, really good, and I'm excited for the holidays.
Yay!
I am, in addition to whatever joke thing I said earlier, yesterday would have been Sebastian's third birthday, so we went to watch the new Spider-Man movie, which whips like so hard.
Oh, I've been hearing that.
I want to see it so
like,
bad.
I feel a lot of people.
I thought it wasn't out till the end of the week.
It came out last Friday. You're a week off.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people have been sleeping on it because it's like a cartoon, but because it's a cartoon, they can do a lot of cool things, and they end up doing the correct choice on everything. So it's called
well, it's written by Phil Lord.
The animation is also super rad. Like,
yeah, it looks beautiful.
And so like when you're watching the trailer or whatever, it has like that fake claymation stop motion type thing, and as just a spoiler on like the animation style, that's just Miles's universe. Everyone's universe is different.
That's so cool.
That's cool as shit.
Oh my god.
So basically, they're taking the Lego movie and then turning it up to 11.
Yeah, it's
like visually,
it's so
that's
good.
So cool.
I will say, if you have leftover feelings about Stan Lee, like I did, Stan Lee's cameo happens to be at the emotional down point of the movie, which then makes it worse.
Oh no!
And then also, if you're familiar with Miles Morales' story, you can probably guess what that down part of the movie is. I will say it surprised me, and I did know Miles Morales' story, so still watch it. You'll still be surprised. But they also put after the, you know how movies these days have 2 credits. One of them is like cool, and the other one is just a black screen. In between those, they put a thanks Steven Stan for like 75 years of everything, and I bawled like a little baby. But regardless, it's really, really good. Also, don't bring a 2-year-old to a movie theater. Like, you might be watch her iPad and watch movies at home and think, oh, she can handle this, and Spider-Man's her favorite. But don't do it. Get a sitter.
IIRC. Yeah,
as someone who does not have a child but does like movies, I second that.
We went in the middle of the day to my theater, the Galaxy Theater here in Austin, where nobody ever goes. There was only 2 other people, and they also had kids at the showing.
Well, so, then it worked out.
It worked out, but she still was like, let me go, let me run around. We're like, you can't, like, we're in a public place, it's dark, you'll fall. And she's like, but I want to walk. And we're like, you shut up and you watch this movie. Spider-Man is your favorite. Stan Lee died for today, okay?
Stan Lee didn't die for this.
I think my first movie at the theater was The Little Mermaid, and I was 4 at the time.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit older than Scarlett.
Yeah. Scarlett.
I have zero clue what my first movie in the theater was. Like, literally, I it's weird, no memories at all. The first movie I even remember existing ever was I got The Lion King on VHS for like Christmas or birthday
you
one
babies.
year, which maybe I saw that in theaters before that. Maybe remember when VHS used to come in those enormous fucking plastic cases?
Yeah.
How stupid was that?
At least you remember VHSs and
I know it's
giant
awesome
cases.
though. At the Disney Store or on DisneyStore.com. This is not an ad, but just because if we don't have a Disney Store here in Austin. I only see it when I go down to Houston. We do.
It's at the Lakeline Mall.
We have one at Lakeline. Well, that's the one close to me, so now I'm excited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But anywho, at the Disney Store, they have classic Disney movie VHS case blank journals. So it's like the big chunky plastic VHS case, but you open it up and it's paper, and you can.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
But when you open it, does it make that noise when you open up the real one?
It is a squeaky plastic cover, so
nice,
close. But
we have to really emulate this experience.
Yeah, but let's get started. And
let's video game in here.
This is going to go by pretty darn quickly. Like I said, there's one real dungeon, one of our hallway transition dungeons that like. We'll get there because it's at the end of today's session. But like, you get through the like walkway dungeon, and then you come across this like towering monument that you're walking into, and you're like, "All right, here starts the real dungeon," and it's the boss fight.
Dungeon time.
And it's the boss fight. So like, there's like nothing really going on at all. I ended up putting in like 15 hours into this playthrough because of this stupid mini game I'm going to get into, but we'll get there. So
yep.
So when we left off last week, we had foiled a coup by Linus, who was this Wingly girl who had been impersonating Princess Emile of Tiburoa. We kicked her butt, barely. She was hard, but she took the Moondagger and ran off and left us alone with the king trying to figure out what's going on. And so the king tells us about the founding of Indinus, where after the Dragon campaign, Sergio, Tiburoa, and Mille Seesaw were given items from the Winglies as like proof of their peace or whatever, which definitely should have been a red flag, but for 10,000 years they've just thought that was okay. They're like, our enemies want to found our country, that's fine. This won't come back to bite me in 10,000 years.
Here, take these clearly evil magical artifacts. Just hold on to them for a while, and we'll get back to you in 10,000 years.
We trust you.
Okay, bye.
You trust us, right?
Yeah.
But, so the King says that he's going to send his warship, the Queen Fury, after her and wants us to go with us. And so we get to discover proof of the men of the sea.
I immediately was like, this is the captain of the Thames.
He really is. It is a cameo from Xenogears, straight up. But
and he loves the sea. Oh my gosh, he loves it so much. He's like he wants to get married to the ocean.
Yeah. And I don't remember if it's right here or a little bit later, but he like asks Dart to marry the ocean with him, and is just like, come on, don't do any of this like adventuring bullshit. Like, come on, join me, be the man of the sea.
I said I would.
And just like Bart in Xenogears, who's just like, you know what? After all this is over, I'm going to go on the ocean. And Dart's the same way.
Bart and Dart.
Yep. It was destiny.
But yeah, so we get on the boat, and it's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole game. Probably one of my favorite parts in all of JRPG history. It is pointless and doesn't really further the plot any, so we're not going to go into it, but it's so cool because you get on the boat and the camera isn't focused on Dart, so you think it's just a cutscene, and so you see Shana and she's just like, oh, the sky is beautiful and I wish I were a bird and blah 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 whatever bullshit that she says, and then the little plumb bob thing pops up over her head and you're like, wait, I can control Shana. And so you go through like this whole boat and you talk to everybody separately, and when you go as Shana and you meet Dart, and then Dart goes and meets Rose, and Rose meets Haschel, and Haschel meets everybody, and they all have these little scenes, and it's kind of great. The only like important like plot ones are Haschel remembers why Claire ran off because she killed a sparring partner by breaking one of the rules of the Rouge Arts, and that's why he was so angry, because she broke the rules and also killed somebody, but he should have like been understanding or whatever, and he's starting to like think about that, and all of his plot happens in the background. Like literally there's like when it comes to a head, he's like, you guys wait here, I'm gonna go handle my plot all by myself. And it's just like, you almost could like not exist and the thing would be fine, but it's okay because you're awesome. But the other big one is Dart goes to talk to Rose on the roof, and he asks her if she knows anything about the black monster, because she seems to know everything. And she's like, look, I don't know nothing. But then she's like, what will you do when you find the black monster? And he's like, well, because of Lavitz, and he taught me that revenge wasn't important. I really don't know what's going on, and I can't know until I meet the black monster. So I just got to know who he is and go from there. And then Rose says this thing that'll get repeated a lot in a really cool way, and I don't think I have it written down exactly, but which is stupid for me to be saying how important it is. But she says that fighting isn't human nature. The only time that you fight and wage war is when you give into your insanity. And it's actually that insanity, the insanity that makes people want to go to war, that fuels the Dragoons. And she says, will you be able to handle the... I'm gonna have to look it up. Did I put it down here? I did not put it down here.
She's just like, when the time comes, are you going to be able to control your insanity?
Yeah, she's and what she specifically says, due to the like taking into account the size of your spirit or something, and like the exact phrasing gets like mirrored in a couple of cool places. I really wish I would have got the quote for you, but it's cool when you know the part. Remember this part. If you're playing along, you know it. If you don't, look it up. It's great. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it is a little funny, because it's one of those, it's that video game thing, right? Where someone is saying a word, but it's like a regular word, but you can tell that even if it doesn't literally have a capital letter, it's supposed to have a capital letter, because it's like, oh, this isn't just a regular word I'm saying, this is like a plot word. Yeah. So when she says, like, control your insanity, first of all, I'm like, translators, that's a weird choice for that. Like, not even. I'm realizing that I'm realizing that you could talk about like ableism or something, but even I don't even like, even aside from that, it's just a weird. It's just a big. It's a very large, clunky word.
Yeah.
Why not call it your fury,
your madness,
or something? I don't know. Madness, insanity.
Insanity
like
is a
word
bit
insanity around, like,
loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very odd because essentially it just means like getting mad about crimes. But what's also weird here, and this is just a little prediction, we'll see if I'm right later. She's kind of saying that being Dragoons, which is what they're all doing because they're trying to be heroes, is like powered by evil energy.
Yeah, that was kind of
like in 8-bit theater when Black Mage's Hadouken spell is powered by love, which means that it sucks love out of the universe anytime he uses it. Maybe you're sucking evil energy out of the universe when you use it. But yeah, so it's like, let's turn into Dragoons, which is, according to Rose, powered by like darkness and revenge and evil. Yeah, let's harness that power and defeat the bad guys.
She's also the Dark Dragoon, so maybe she's just being
extra
overly dramatic. Yeah.
Oh,
for effect.
I will say that
reminds me of my favorite one from later.
I've beaten this game twice, and I have recently gone through with a fine-tooth comb over a Let's Play, and I don't know. Like I can't actually say if you're right or not. It's definitely like a nuance thing that I'll look for here my fifth time experiencing the story when I continue playing. But
yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry. I keep knocking shit around on my desk. I'm not meaning to be a cat, but apparently I am today.
No, it is totally fine. There's some stupid hardware from one of Scarlett's toys that I've been like moving around and banging on my desk the whole time too. So.
Well, geez, I guess I need to find something and bang it around.
There we go.
Here we go. It's some whipped argan oil face butter.
Ooh, perfect.
Face butter.
But yeah. So after you talk with everybody, the Queen Fury is attacked by a ghost boat in a super cool FMV, and this is one of the FMVs that I remember from like being a kid. Like there's like I didn't remember any of the ones that happen in chapter 1 besides the opening existing at all, and yet here we are with this super cool one and way later, and I remember it like sticks in my mind. It's really cool. Yeah, so after the FMV, all of the people, like the crew members, are out on the boat, and they all seem to know that you don't go and fuck with the giant ghost boat because that's not a good idea. And so the captain's like, "Hey, back off and get to work." Everyone's like, "Okay, cool," and even our party walks away, except of course Shana, because she's Shana, and she just jumps into the boat, and everyone's like, "Well, fuck, we got to go save Shana again," and so when she gets in there, all of the ghosts seem to be on her side and are protecting her from more of the like malevolent spirit stuff. And it's pretty cool. And so everyone goes in there and they're like, well, that was interesting why they saved you. But since we're already in a ghost boat, we might as well explore the ghost boat. And we do so. How did you guys like this dungeon?
It was really interesting. I was annoyed at my inability to avoid the mobs because there's no random encounters. They're all in specific areas. They do move around some, but like I'm really, really bad at controlling darts movement for some reason. So like, yeah, I just had a really hard time running around them, and every time I would run into them, I was just like, God damn it, why?
Oh
no, you're good. That was pretty much it.
I was gonna say a few things. One, music whips.
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe we got past the boat scene without me saying the boat scene music. 500%.
Oh yeah.
It's also, this game mostly has its own musical identity pretty well. It doesn't seem like it's ripping off anybody. It's pretty clear. The boat scene music was the most Uematsu thing in this entire game.
Yeah.
It extremely Uematsu, but I don't mean that in a mean way at all. It's a beautiful piece of music.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, this track also owns. Anyway, when you're in the ghost ship, I like that it's like 3 screens.
Yeah.
It's nice and small. I like how it's kind of like the ship, the sort of zombie ghost ship in Xenogears. It's like, this is the size that the boat is. It doesn't magically get bigger on the inside because video games.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the amount of difficult that the mobs are to avoid. I often was able to avoid them a decent number of times, but also was often unable to. And I like that. If I was just avoiding them every single time, it would have been too easy.
I mean, that's true. I don't know. Parts of it felt me being bad at this also affected it.
Right.
So,
well, there's also one part where when you go into a room, they take a second to appear.
Yeah.
So if you like sprint through, you can get through like half of them without having to worry about it, which is nice. I also tried the stupid puzzle for a while, so I ran back and forth a lot.
I got it on my first try because I got a really easy combination.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but did you try it like 5 times?
Yeah, there's like 10 prizes from this thing.
Oh, no, I only tried once.
Okay.
Yeah. So
my combination was 5-5-6-6.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, that's very easy.
I should have tried it more.
That's very easy. But yeah, the only big issue I have is that the mobs, I don't mind trying to dodge them, and I don't mind being unable to dodge them sometimes, but there were only 2 mobs in the entire thing. It's literally like, it's like 2 wisps and a skeleton, or 2 wisps and death.
Yeah.
And both of them are the worst kind of enemy formation in an JRPG, which is to say, not hard, but also takes a while.
Yeah. Yeah, because the
not hard and not trivial. It's like, come on,
the
guys.
wisps have like strong everything defense and also evade a lot. So like they're not hard, like they only have like 150 HP, but good luck getting 150 HP.
Team Shana was coming through actually because I think Shana might have absurdly high accuracy. Because I don't think she ever missed the wisp. So I would have my other people hit the skeleton, and Shauna would take out the wisp.
Legend of Dragoon is backwards in that regard. Bows are the most accurate, and melee weapons are the least accurate.
You wouldn't think that would work that way,
but it does. But
so this puzzle thing. Go on with the puzzle thing.
So the puzzle thing. So When I started playing this, I was like, I want to get everything early. Like, I'll find all the stupid mini games and all the stupid side quests and everything to live my best life with this game, because I've never done that before. And I listened to John on Square Roots do that with Final Fantasy IX, and it sounded like he wanted to kill himself from it. But this game doesn't have a stealing mechanic, so I'm not like already have it in the clear. That's going to be way easier for me. But this was the first one that I'm like, this was a 2-hour playthrough this week, and I spent 6 hours on it because of this stupid thing. So what the puzzle is you come into one room, and the ghosts will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and give you a four-digit combination. On the other end of the entire dungeon, which granted is only 3 screens, so it's not that big of a deal, but there's still all of the mobs to avoid. On the other side is a chest that only accepts 3 digits for the combination. So you have to know which are the correct 3 digits, in which order to put them in, and you only have 10 tries to do it. But so if you get it the first time, you get some bullshit. You get some bullshit a lot. When you do it, so the first time you get like 10 tries, then 5 tries. Both of those are pretty trivial. But then for the last like 3 or 4 rounds, you get 2 tries to do it. And I tried to do it legit about 3 times, and then I save scummed, and save scumming still took like 6 hours, because if you fail, you fight a mob, and then the combo resets, and you have to go get new numbers. And even without having to go get new numbers, it still took a lot of trial and error to get through it. And I couldn't imagine not being able to like take notes and make progress, because
Sam, when you say save scum, were you using I forget. Are you?
Yeah, I'm playing on my Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, because I stole his PS3.
Yeah.
Okay, because here's the thing, my dude. You warned me about this, and at first I was going to skip it because I was trying to finish in time. But once it became clear that we were skipping a week, I decided, you know what, fuck it, I do want to do this. I'm not playing on an emulator, so I'm trying to find a pencil. I'm very interested in the combinatorics of this. It's a very, very simple combinatorics problem, but I still need a pencil to do it. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I'm like gonna save scum, but with actual saving, right? So I would save at the ship, and then go get the numbers, and then save at the ship again, and remember the numbers in my head, right? And then try 2 things. And then if I got those 2 wrong, I would load up my game, which in my case means literally closing out the game on the Vita, reopening it, waiting through all the opening scenes, loading my game, doing all that shit, and then jumping back in. And luckily I got the thing where
you've gone all road body.
Hold on.
You're back, by the way.
Hello? Am I back? Sorry, yeah, I accidentally unplugged my phone from the charger, that's why.
Okay.
So anyway, I would try 2, I would get in a fight. Try 2 more, get in a fight. Luckily I had the thing where it repeated the number. I think the number was like 0, 1, 2, 2, something like that. So that means combinatorically there's not as many.
Yeah.
There's many options. Anyway, after I'd gotten through almost all of them, almost all the possibilities, I started realizing, wait a second, I really feel like I would have gotten this by now. Like, I mean, I guess it could be the very last one, but I feel like it's probably not. So I thought, what if the game changes when you load your game?
And it does.
It does, yeah.
It does. And I didn't think for ages to actually check if it did this. So after I had already spent quite a while doing this, I go back. So I load my game, and instead of running to the room, I run over to the ghost room again. And I'm like, please be 0112. Please be 0112. And they're like, and then the first ghost goes, 6. And I go, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually hanging out with a date at the time. We weren't like on a date. It's just that she was overdoing some stuff, so I was playing my game, and she had stopped doing what she was doing and was looking over my shoulder while I was playing, and so she understood the basics of the problem that I was having. So when the ghost said 6, she started laughing her ass off. She was like, "You idiot."
Yeah.
But yeah, so at that point I was like, wait, so I actually just have to literally
be right.
You literally have to guess and just be right.
Yeah.
Even save, so like I figured the game was at least designed so that you could save
because the chest is right there by the save point. Like it seems.
Also, frankly, most of the time, JRPGs like this that are pretty simplistic like this, they don't maintain state when you load your game. That's the point. Like if it's not Dragon Quest, like if you die, you go back to where you saved, and the game pretends like nothing ever happened. Yeah. Or if you turn the game off and load your save, it's exactly where you left off. So, like, usually, what I mean is they maintain complete state. They don't check that you loaded your game, right? So the fact that it did was annoy the shit. Anyway, I was like, "Fuck this game."
It's easily the worst puzzle in the whole game, and
if it wasn't for the loading your save, it would have just been annoying, and I would have done it anyway. But God.
The reward you get at the end is called the Ultimate War God, and what it does is it auto-completes your additions without having to press any buttons, and it's super cool. It lets me be able to use Albert's fast crazy ass again, and the funny thing is, on my last time to go get the numbers and come back, I started acing Gust of Wind Dance, which is really hard, and I was just like, God damn it, I'm getting this literally at the worst point, but I don't care. And so Albert has that now, which in the grand scheme of things is mostly useful if you want to grind additions while watching TV type thing, and not necessarily great for the game, because putting on a Night Shield or a Bandit's Ring or something like that and then learning the addition is a lot more value numerically, but also skill wise it's great to not have to press any buttons anymore. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that was my first, because I thought I was going to be acing some mini games, and I saw that everything was something you can buy from a store, and I'm like, I don't need a healing breeze early. I'm not gonna 100% that part. But yeah, this one was rough. But if you are interested in the Ultimate War God, you can buy one for 10,000 gold in stores from here on, which is not a big deal at all. So you can just do that. I mean, 10,000 is a freakishly high number in this game, but don't feel bad that you missed it. It's not unmissable. Okay. But anywho, so throughout the ship, we realized that the ship was destroyed by the Black Monster, who even killed the newborn baby that's on board. And the ghosts all act like you're the Black Monster, and they come to attack you towards the end.
There was before that there was a boss fight. Well, it was like a mini boss because it didn't give that much experience. But there's these trickster ghosts.
Oh yeah, the little chest monster.
And they yeah, they can do a whole host of status condition things to you. Mm-hmm. They got my entire party confused, and my party killed each other.
Oh, they bewitched my entire party, and they killed each other. Thankfully, so this is the only dungeon that I know of that the item shop, weapon shop, save point, and inn are all in the dungeon, which is just beautiful.
It's super, super helpful.
Yeah. And there's 3 screens anyway, so you're always 1 fucking second away from an inn, which is very
and
nice.
the weapon shops sell a thing to protect against confusion and against bewitchment, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go buy 3 of these real quick, put them on everybody, and come back and do this mini boss.
Yeah, I forgot about that being a thing. But I did manage to get through it on my second attempt. So,
nice.
Yeah, I was just like, no, just murder them immediately, quickly. Yeah. I had used my special on a previous one where it was one of those guys and a couple of skeletons or something. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have my special for the start of the all 3 of them at once. That's in the same room where the numbers happen.
Oh yeah.
But, I used my special on the second one, and I was able to murder them pretty quickly.
Yeah, because Dragoons are immune to status debuffs, which is great.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah, which one of the like meta strategies you can do is if everybody has their special ready and 3 people get or 2 of the 3 people get status debuffed, and you're like, well, crap, I'm going to lose, but your special is ready. Use the special; it'll cure everybody, and you'll still turn into your Dragoon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah. So Shana runs up to the ghost while they're attacking us and begs him to stop. And they're like, "Oh my God, Princess, you're here! And we're so glad you're safe." And they stop attacking us. And the last screen of the dungeon is a nursery with a ghost nanny who says that, "Oh, Shana, you were Princess Luvia, and I've been wandering for 18 years looking for you to make sure that you're safe. And now that you are, she can pass on." And yeah, it's kind of finally some answers to Shana. So she's apparently some magical princess lady, and that's why.
No, she was a baby.
They're
Babies
ghosts.
rarely look at. Okay,
They're ghosts. They can read her aura.
All right.
At first, I was thinking like at first I didn't realize that this ghost ship had only been ghost shipping for like 18 years. I thought it was like ancient. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, is Shana like the reincarnation of this princess? And I'm like, oh no, she just is this princess. Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, it could be any of the 3. The 18-year-old ghost, Shana is 10,000 years old, or she's a reincarnation. It's Legend of Dragoon. We've seen all 3 of those things already.
I'm normally the guy arguing against logic in fantasy and video games, so I really should have just kept my mouth shut. But I still was like, what did the even fantasy, that's a little. But
yeah.
But yeah, so when the nanny passes on to the other side, so does the ship. So we hightail it out of there, and Dart is the last one to jump to safety, and he misses, and so Rose like pushes everyone aside, jumps down, and like grabs them all dramatic, like off the cliff type thing. And Dart's like, "Just let me fall. I know it's like rough, but I'll swim up.
I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go."
Yeah, I didn't get this. It's like, dude, you just fall into the water, and then they can like come around and get you. Can you dog paddle for like 5 fucking minutes? Like,
he's got that weird armor on. He's gonna be dragged down by his single sleeve.
Everyone knows you need 2 sleeves to swim.
Yeah.
But he's like
so unbalanced there.
He's like, "Let me fall," and Rose says, "No, never again," which is like the first time we're getting some like, what is Rose up to? And we're about to get a lot of what Rose is up to here in like 2 seconds.
Yep.
But the strain to hold them up is too much, and they both fall into the water. So we fade in, and Dart is out cold in a cave, and Rose is tending to him by a fire. And so she's talking to herself about how Dart and Zeeg, the last red-eyed Dragoon, are so much alike, and all the time when she's been like, "You remind me of my friends and I'm just drawn to you," has been bullshit, because she's like, "You look like you're obviously the reincarnation of my boyfriend, so I'm going to hang around with you because I'm not emotionally mature." And
yeah, although I'm going to pretend I'm emotionally mature.
Yeah. And so she then remembers the coolest FMV in the game. It has badass music. It's called like
so awesome.
the Ancient Battle of Dragon or something. It's so good. The music is great. But the FMV has a whole lot going on that's really hard to figure out. And when you guys are watching it, you probably were just like, "These are pixels," and not really know what's going on.
Yeah, I was like, things are happening.
Yeah, but basically the FMV is about the last big fight with the Winglies in the war with the previous Dragoons. And that then means that Rose is 11,000 years old. But we see the fight go back and forth between who's winning and who's not, where we see like Shirley kick some ass, and past Haschel, whose name is Kansas, like hugs this giant Wingly in the
with
face.
A Z.
Yeah. He like hugs this Wingli's face and just like Vegeta's and explodes to kill it, and it's
that part was cool.
He's cool as shit. Like the whole thing is like super badass. But
it's all just very dope.
Yes.
But yeah, at the end we hear the first time we hear the words Melbu Frama, and we get to see Melbu Frama's face, and he's like weird looking, and it's cool. He's a really good, like, badass evil guy look. But then the Red Dragoon, presumably Zeke, kicks his ass. But doing so makes the whole, like, arena that they're fighting in start to crumble. So Rose dives to save Zeke, but Melbu Frama used some, like, spell of some sort to, like, turn him into stone. And so she couldn't grab him, and she had to watch him plummet to his death. It's a great FMV. You should just go watch it.
I just remembered who Rose reminds me of. Homura from Madoka Magica.
Mm-hmm. Like, definitely.
Like, 100%. She's Homura.
Yeah. They got the same aura, for sure.
She's even purple.
But yeah, after that FMV, a dog comes in and finds them and saves them and takes them back to a coastal village, which I realized while I was playing this is the exact same coastal village from Final Fantasy VII. Like, even the camera angle and stuff that they pick. But
yeah, it's the
exact same shit. There's
same
energy. There's, like, nothing going on in the village at all, but we learned that there's a port town right next door, and so we head there to see if the Queen Fury has stopped in. There's a monster that's in the way, but Rose promises this little boy she's going to annihilate it, and the little boy's like, what? Yeah. And Dart's like, look, I know she seems scary, but this actually is a really big step up from where she was recently. This is the nicest we've ever seen her. But
I'm going to destroy this thing. This is her being very nice.
Yeah. But we make it through to Fueno, the port city, and if you talk to the NPCs, they let us know that the Queen Fury is in town. So when we go to find it, we meet Maru, who's like, "Oh, everybody's everywhere." So we search around, find everyone, and it ends in a sweet scene with Dart and Shana, where Shana finally, like, looks Dart straight in the eyes and is like, "You have to deal with your feelings, sir."
Yeah,
we have to get this done. And Dart actually starts to accept it because, like, when she thought they were dead, Shana had done the JRPG disease where she stops talking because she's so sad. And and so everyone was, like, worried about her, and she's just like, "Look, I cared about you. You almost died. You better, like, I can't stand you dying. You have to, like, be real with me," or whatever. So we all decide to go and get the moon dagger from Linus, because we hear that there's a monster in the cave, and that the monster is a sea dragon, and we're like, there's a dragon, it's probably Lloyd. He kind of likes to throw dragons around at people, so it also showed up 6 months ago, so it's probably Linus that's doing everything. So we head back for more information about the dragon and Prison Island, and the mayor of the port town opens up the pathway, and we walk on to our second dungeon that's mostly a hallway with some chests in it. But I don't remember the music from this one. Was it anything to write home about?
I think it was a reuse.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's the swamp / cave / etc. track.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I mentioned a few episodes ago, there's one track in this game that I just straight up don't like, and it keeps happening. It's the one that goes...
Oh, that was the one that I put, like, on episode 2. I was like, "Oh, you can't hear this song, but I promise it's good." You're like, "Oh, I'll go back to listen to it. I'll like it." And apparently you did not.
Nah, I totally did. Yeah, no, I hate that song.
Yeah.
It keeps. I don't know why. It's just like one of the few stinkers, and they keep using it every time it shows up. I'm like, quit it.
It's the shit's about to happen song, and I like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ominous or whatever, but yeah, no, not about it. But that's not the song that plays here.
No, I think it's
in my head now.
Yeah, I think it's just the generic cave track. But yeah, it's so unimportant of a dungeon, it doesn't even have its own music.
Yep. Well, and I gotta say, like, this dungeon, so, like, yeah, this dungeon is real short, which it doesn't have to be, because there's not, like, another dungeon coming after it. And the waypoint, like the Crossroads dungeon before, it's got to be the most perfunctory Crossroads dungeon that is yet to appear
Yeah.
in this game.
It's literally
like,
a
at least
T
the
junction.
Baron's just, like, 3 screens. This is, like, it's a T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. But then, like, and also that town, the fishing village, I know, it's JRPG. Sometimes towns exist for you to briefly stop by on your way on your journey. But, like, Oh my gosh. I had, like, the amount of nothing that happens in that town is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Also,
I was like, surely there's more here.
Well, also, that doesn't happen as much in this era, because back in, like, Final Fantasy VI, for example, Final Fantasy VI has some throwaway towns. Eli, remember when you first go down to the Empire in the south of Southern Continent, and there's 3 towns, and one of them is where you're supposed to go, and the other 2 you literally just stop in and stay in the inn and then leave.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but see, back in the day, you had the same tile set for every town.
Right.
So you just whip the fucking tiles together. I'm not saying it doesn't take effort, but it wasn't an absurd amount of effort. But these are, like, unique, pre-rendered towns. Like, I'm like, you put so much effort into this place, you think you would do more in it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, right? That's the trajectory of the JRPG. It's like, as you go from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, the towns get fewer and bigger.
And Final Fantasy IX is unique in the fact that that it's like there are legitimately 4 towns. You just travel through the 4 and then travel back and then travel back again, and things change each time. But there's like 4 towns in the entire game. And this one,
yeah, it's like we blew our budget. We made 1 town and then realized we'd blown 1/5 of our game's budget, and we're like, well, I guess we're not having that many towns.
Yeah. But yeah. So the dungeon's super not important. So we run into Linus at the end. This is the one we were talking about where it's like just the hallway, and then you come to this one screen, and there's like, you see Prison Island, and you're like, okay, this looks as big and as interesting as Helena Prison, and it's called Prison Island.
It's called fucking Prison Island, and they built it up so
something's
much.
going to happen, and it is a tiny cave where Linus is basically begging Lloyds for sex.
Basically. She just wants Senpai to notice her.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Do you have the moon dagger? And then
he has priorities, all right?
Boys only care about one thing.
Moon daggers.
And it's disgusting. It's moon daggers.
So we ruin the moment with our swords and shit, and Lloyd is like, well, Emperor Diaz is calling the shots, and Rose, who, as we now know, was there, knows that he's speaking bullshit, and she's like, Emperor Diaz died. He also, like, was a really good guy. I also knew him personally, was there at his funeral, so you're full of fucking shit. And Lloyd is like, well, I'm just saying, Emperor Diaz is the one that's doing everything. And so he throws Linus at us and takes the dagger and the gem and leaves. And so he's like, if you survive, come and meet me in Millie Seesaw. And we're like, okay, cool. So we have a boss fight with a way easier Linus, and she even brings her dragon friend, and she's like trivial. And
her dragon friend does some massive damage, but I murdered the dragon friend first, and then it was cake.
Hey,
yeah, what's up?
Okay, go on.
Huh?
Oh no, go on.
Oh no, that was pretty much it.
I was just gonna say I have to say something real fast. So yeah, the thing about the whole Diaz thing, like he or she or whatever, I always think of it as being Cameron Diaz. Diaz is so mysterious. Like, people are interpreting him different ways. He's not there, but people are able to apply what they think he is to him, and he's just so mysterious. And also, he's like this character who's off screen and seems to be running things and making orders, and everyone's like, who submitted these orders? And it's like, I don't know. It's almost like he's some kind of Cypher Diaz. There's a lot happening with Sam right now, I think.
I don't get it.
My eyes have not only rolled, they've rolled out of my head, down the stairs, and now they're currently outside.
Do you have a hole in your retina
yes,
now?
I have full retinal detachment from my eyes rolling so hard.
I'm just saying, they're all taking orders from Master Cypher Diaz, and maybe later we'll find out who that is. That's all I'm saying.
Is this a Homestuck reference?
No, it's Star Wars.
It's much worse than a Homestuck reference.
Oh, okay.
It's a Star Wars Episode 2 reference.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen those ones.
Yeah.
What? Oh, they're great.
What?
The quotes, right?
The part that he's quoting, at least, is actually the cool and interesting part of Episode 2 that they don't really go into in the movie. The Clone Wars TV show goes into, like, hard, and it's really awesome, but it's just like one of the big mysteries. They kind of leave a mystery in the movie. But
I didn't get into Star Wars until The Force Awakens, which I love.
Yeah.
So,
good.
yeah.
But
even though it's A New Hope, I don't care. I enjoy it. I like it better than A New Hope, honestly.
Yeah, it's really good. But anywho,
everybody's gonna.
I annihilated. Even though I'm on Team Shana for the first time ever, thank God, for the first time in a long time, I had an easy time with the boss. I made everyone go into dragon mode immediately, and by the time everyone was out of dragon mode, the bad guys weren't doing so well. I think by the time I got, because have y'all unlocked Dragon level 4 for Dart yet?
No, I don't know how to unlock dragon levels.
So you just do successful additions, and the more SP.
That's why I'm only level 3.
Yeah, the more SP you gain, the more stuff.
Well, Dart just hit level 4, so you're not behind anything. Everyone else is level 3.
I suck at addition.
But at any rate, so the thing is, what was it? Because I had Dart, Shana, and what's her butt? Rose. Can't remember her name because she's just an uninteresting character.
I love Rose.
Rose is the best.
I'm stupid as hell, and I misread the enemy's color as being. It was very late at night. I misread it as being gray, but it's obviously blue.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Rose will use her light attack, which whips ass if the enemy is dark. But of course, really, it was Dart. She should have been using his fire attack. Anyway, Dart did over 1,000 damage to the dragon with his level 3 fire spell.
Yeah.
And basically, by the time we were out of dragon mode, Linus was out of the battle, and all that had left to do was kick the dragon's ass, and I felt really good about this battle.
When I was talking with Eli about it, he was like, why was she so hard? She's the Dragoon. She's supposed to be better. I was like, I think she does have better stats, but she also was a Dragoon, and when you're a Dragoon, you get a multiplier for your elemental strength and weakness. So she did twice as much damage for Dart, but also took twice as much damage from Dart. And since Dart has to be in your party the entire game, he is a higher level than everyone and has better stuff than everyone. So he decimates this battle. Does 1,000 damage a turn. It's ridiculous.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was doing 999 every time I attacked her.
It was very cathartic for me because I've been having so much trouble up until now, so I very much enjoyed it.
It did also feel good kicking Linus's ass when she was so fucking hard the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And Shauna finally got to shine because she was using her fire attack, her magma whatever, and that was doing...
She has a fire attack?
Just from the item.
No, her...
her
item, yeah. Her fire all, and that was just doing... vision damage.
Yeah.
So, it was good.
It was so good. So, afterwards, if it wasn't obvious that Maru's name is in blue, she becomes the Water Dragoon, and we make our way back to Fletz to tell the king that we sucked and we lost the dagger.
Which means we have to go all the way back.
Through everything.
Manually.
Which...
took forever.
Yeah, it takes forever, but at least now you get boat, and you can drive boat, which is...
Don't you mean we have dote?
Yeah, we have our dote, so we can go
chase after Lord.
Yeah, we can go to our watery places on the world map, which is only 2 places. It increases to 5 places by the end of the game, but right now it's 2. But our first world map vehicle is acquired. Our second world map vehicle, the airship, I didn't realize was ever an airship until I was reading the Let's Play that I did to write the notes off of, and I had already beaten the game twice by that point. And I was like, oh, he's an airship? Because it's a sentient creature. And I was like, I had no idea he could take you places. I walked everywhere. This is bullshit.
Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta say, the catharsis of having a boat indoor airship isn't quite as much there when you're
on a Mario Party,
when you're moving between points on a grid.
Yeah.
That's the whole cool thing about an airship is you can. In a game, it's I used to have to walk around the mountains, and now I can just fly over the mountains. There's a functional difference there,
but not really here.
So the boat is just okay, now you're going between points on a map, but it's blue now because of water.
But. Yeah, so we make our way all the way to Fletz, where we see a reverse scene of one from earlier, where we see Princess Emile walking through the streets, but everyone loves her, and she gives the stupidest names for the pregnant lady from last time. She says, if it's a girl, you should name it Ie. Eyi. I think Ie is the only way that makes sense for that. It's literally the Willy sound effect in comics.
Yeah. The fucking Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. So you can call your daughter.
Now imagining that she just says name it the Wilhelm scream.
So you can name your girl Wilhelm or Al for a boy, which I was just like, Al is a dumb name, but Eli actually picked up that it's probably just because she wants to bone Albert, as we see for the rest of this thing.
She got Albert on the brain and other places.
Yeah. Remind me when we get to the memorable moments to refer it back to Friends, because there's a thing that me and Summer realized that's really funny, but we're not getting into it right now. But,
I refuse to remind you to refer to Friends.
No, it's good. But anywho,
you do that on your own time.
So we get up to the throne room, and the king is like, "Wow, you guys are heroes," and we're like, "We lost. Like, yeah, we beat the boss fight, but we did not save your country." And the king's like, "Nonsense! You stopped the monster, and you brought my daughter back, and everything that's important to me has happened. Yeah, the world's going to end because you guys dropped the ball on that one, but I'm going to have a good last 6 months before the world ends." Because
it's like, hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And so they're like, "We don't have the moon dagger to pass down anymore, but we do have the story of our, I think we have all 7 now, so of our 7 friends or whatever." So they throw us this banquet, and everyone instantly finds an excuse to leave Dart and Shana alone. And so, because everyone, at this point of the game, everyone is Shauna's wingman. Like, every single person is just like, "Look, it's been 18 hours of gameplay, and we can't take this anymore. You better go and handle this shit, Shauna." Yeah. And so she finally tells him how she feels in plain language, and not just like, "Oh, I missed you while you were gone," but like, "Dart, like, I'm in love with you. Please do something about it." And so Dart admits that he doesn't actually think of her as a little sister, but that it's complicated. And so he does the thing where you like go to be like where you grab somebody's shoulder right before you like lock eyes, and it's a romantic about to be a kiss or whatever. But right when he does that, Fester shows up to ruin it.
And I love this part.
And then I can't remember her name, but Lisa's attendant shows up to ruin it, and just like everyone keeps coming in to ruin the moment.
And I think it should be noticed that this is the second time this happens, this playthrough. There's an earlier scene as well where they...
Oh, yeah, because...
Like, an hour or two ago,
when you go to pick up everybody in the inn, Dart and Shana are to talk, and you hear Maru outside the door, and it's just like, "Guys, I'm trying to learn about love. Let me just listen." And
and also, the way they do it is they're playing the like really sweet romance theme, and then she interrupts, and the music stops.
And it's her theme.
And then after she leaves, the music comes...
Oh, that's great.
And that happens here, too. Like, every time they go back, then it's like... It's all... I can almost imagine Dart, like... No, obviously not Dart. Shauna is one doing this. Shauna is, like resetting the record. Yeah. She's playing this record to set the perfect romantic mood. Yeah. And every time they get interrupted, she's like, "Let me just start this track over."
Right.
And, okay, we got it. The scene's perfect. I only light the candles, got the food. Okay, let's do it. And then someone comes and interrupts it again. She's like, "God damn it."
It's so good.
I love shit
of course,
like
maybe
that.
They shouldn't be having a romantic moment on a fucking bridge between 2 important locations. So everyone's going to be going across that bridge anyway. Yeah. Just saying. Could have picked like a balcony or something.
Right. So then we get to that night at the banquet, and Shana doesn't Shart. Their celebrity couple name is Shart.
That's couple
or Bala. Or wait, no, it's Shana, not Shala. Sorry, Bono. Bono.
Eric Bana. That's their name. So Shana doesn't show up, so Dart sets off to find her, but he can't. So you have another scene where you get to talk to everybody and get a feel for him, and everyone's just like, "Dude, Shauna's not over here." My favorite one is you talk to Kongol, and he's like, "I'm taller than everyone here. I can see everyone's face. Shauna's not here. You're gonna have to leave to find her."
Yep.
And
is a good boy.
Then Rose calls Dart out to the balcony, and he's like, "What did you need?" He's like, "If you were going to make her wait forever, I was going to have to kill you." And you're like, "What?" So the camera pans, and then Shauna's wearing a ball gown, and
the
she's
only
like,
one who was okay with wearing a ball gown.
"Yeah," because earlier
she's very pretty.
Yeah, earlier somebody was like, "Oh, hey, Rose, Maru, here's your ball gowns, and they're like, we're not going to fucking wear that. And so Shana obviously was like, I definitely want to wear that. And like, I love her sprite animation here because
I'm heteronormative. I want to wear it.
You can tell that Shauna's like super nervous. Like she's like wringing her hands, and looks like she's like bright red. Like
they
nervous.
did a good job with that.
Yeah, for being a loose collection of like 7 polygons, she actually reads as really nervous, and it's good.
Yeah.
So Dart goes over, puts his arm around her, and she sees a shooting star, and she goes, "Oh, make a wish. I hope that mine comes true." And then Dart says, because he's like, "I know it will, because I'm wishing the same thing." And so he takes her into his arms, and he kisses her fucking finally. And that low stakes, sweet character moment is what ends disc 2, and it kind of defines disc 2. Like, this whole disc has been... Yeah.
They didn't even go into FMV for it.
They didn't need to. They just... It's so good.
It was great.
Which is good, because
Go ahead, Eli.
It was great not having a boss battle at the end. Because I was, like, expecting some asshole to show up and fight me. Mm-hmm. because that's what happens.
Yeah, well, also after you got the whole party, there's this part where you have to go around to you have to actually, before the party, you actually have to go around to everyone in the castle and collect everybody, which again is more a character moment. You have to go be like, hey, the party's about to start, hey, come with me. Hey, the party's going to start, hey, come with me.
You totally...
And after you get everyone, the game goes into the pick your party mode.
Yeah.
And you have to select a party. Yeah. So I figured the fact that the game is making you pick a party means something clearly is going to happen, and we're going to use these guys to fight. So I made sure to save, blah, 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 and there was nothing. And it was great.
It's so good.
I'm glad there was nothing. Also, I'm glad it wasn't FMV, because if it was an FMV, then you wouldn't actually see Dart and Donna. You wouldn't actually see Dart and Shana kissing. You wouldn't actually see them kissing. You would just see these weird facsimile of them. It's like these characters that look kind of like Dart and Shana, but they're like weird, ungainly CGI creations kissing instead.
And it would be turn of the century CG kisses, which, if you're familiar with any CG media from the era, looks bad, like way bad.
Oh, yeah.
The first kiss that has looked good in a video game is The Last of Us 2. Is the first time I've ever looked at a kiss and been like, oh, that's okay. I'm okay with this existing.
Usually you just position the camera so that one person's head is in front of the other person's head, so you can actually see the kiss, and that works fine. Otherwise, the two character models are just sort of overlapping.
Yeah.
It's like smushing Barbie dolls together. Now they kiss.
So I just looked up. There is actually a concept art by the actual artist for the game, like the actual official concept art of Shana in her dress, and she's really pretty, you guys.
Nice. I'll have to look at that and share it in the Discord.
So happy seeing her in that dress, because like even she was refusing initially.
Yeah.
And she just looked so great in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most of my memorable moments, besides, because we already talked about Commodore Pooler telling Dart that he should join to be a man of the sea, but my only ones after that were at the gala. Did anybody have anything they took down from before the banquet?
I've got a couple, 4, literally, which is not very many. When you talk with the sailors, the fishermen, to get them to open up the door to the dungeon that wasn't really a dungeon. They're like, oh, you want to go to Prison Island? Are you crazy? You're trying to commit suicide? And Dart goes, we are serious, but we don't want to commit suicide.
We're not that serious.
Also, the game, I feel like I can't tell if I'm starting to find the game's translation less charming, or if it's just getting worse, or if I'm just... But anyway, I'm noticing more and more, like, the translation is not good.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's still not good in a funny way sometimes. Yeah. So, when Meru gets her spirit, this is... I'm almost positive this is not supposed to be sarcastic, but it comes off that way, and since it's Rose, it's fine. Once Meru transforms, Rose goes, oh, I am surprised that Meru was recognized.
Oh no, it's definitely, like, sarcastic for Rose. That one's on purpose, but it's great.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, she's the only one. She's blue. Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised that Mary became a Dragoon.
Yeah, what a shock.
When you talk to Pueller after defeating the monster on Prisoner Island, he goes, Dart, I've heard about you. And then also when you talk to Emil, when Emil gives her speech later, she's like, I'm back. I'm not evil. And then she goes, let us make this country continue to be a wonderful country. Which all that I could think of was stupid, dumbass, idiot Hillary Clinton's stupid, awful campaign slogan, clap back, America is already great. That's like all I could think of. I'm like, thanks, Hillary. She's like, this country's already great, but let's work hard to make it continue to be great.
Princess Hillary.
Princess Hillary. And then let's see. There was one more thing. You forgot, Sam. There's another big aspect to this. So not only is Albert, Albert and Emil are very much in love with each other. Also, Emil's sister is clearly in love with someone, probably Dart.
Everybody's in love with Dart.
But when you go to get
that,
Albert,
but if you make your way to Lisa, you do get a small scene with her where she has something, which is cool.
It's like Lisa needs braces, but braces actually is Dart. But when you go to get Emil, though, there's this amazing scene where she and Albert are sharing a tender moment, right? And they clearly are really into each other. But Dart is like, dude, we gotta go to the party. And Albert's like, oh, I gotta go. It was so great chatting with you, Emil. And Emil's like, when will I ever see you again? And he goes, when the stars fill the sky. And Dart goes, you can just say nighttime. and then Albert's like, I'll see you at the party.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
I was gonna mention that as one of my memorable moments. Like,
because he's literally like, I'm gonna see you in a fucking hour.
When the stars fill the sky and the moon is clear in view, and he's trying to be all poetic, like, all right, I guess I'll see you at the party.
And then the final thing is, sorry, I only took 4 screenshots, but I actually had 6 things. The 6th thing is when they're talking about how they'll pass down the story of Dart, because they don't have the new dagger, because, like, fuck it, who cares? They're like, we'll pass down your story. The story of the 7 warriors from the east who defeated the creature that had come upon the waters or whatever. And I'm like, oh, so, like, in y'all's culture, do y'all just take, like, very simple, not complicated at all, easy to explain stories about how these guys came and killed a dragon's ass, and then just, like, change the words to be way more vague? Is that just how you do things around here? 'Cause that's all it is, right? It's like, oh, the thing that fell to earth, oh, the black monster, oh, the star that never sets. I'm like, you're just taking normal things and making them sound mysterious.
Maybe if somebody would actually be a historian and write the actual story, we wouldn't be here 10,000 years later trying to piece back together this whole plot. We would have just known and stopped it.
Normally it's like, oh, 10,000 years goes by, people forget things. But here it's like, no, you just saw this happen, and you're already apparently obfuscating it on purpose because it sounds cooler, I guess. Yeah. Then again, it is tourism. It's like they want the legend to sound more interesting than it really is. So they're like, oh, the great beast, oh, the 7 warriors, instead of just like Dart and his 6 dumbass friends killed a thing because a lady took our dagger.
Yeah. So when Albert is talking with Emil, there's an episode of Friends that Joey tells them about the magic story that you tell somebody to turn them on to make them want to have sex. And you ask them, did I ever tell you the story about the time I was backpacking through Eastern Europe? And that's as far as the story goes. It always cuts at that point. So we walk in on Albert and Emil talking, and he's like, so have I ever told you the legend of the mermaid and when I went backpacking in Eastern Europe? And I'm just like, oh, I see what this is. And he actually is super smooth, because at the end of it, he like stops on the cliffhanger and he's like, oh, wait, I forgot. This is a Serdian royalty bedtime story. So if you want to hear it, you're going to have to find some way to become Serdian royalty. I don't know how that'll happen. Yeah, it's great.
I love the Albert and Emil stuff. I adore Dart and Shana just constantly getting interrupted.
Oh yeah,
everyone's just cock-blocking.
Yeah, for real. And I really loved Linus trying to get in Loib's pants and failing miserably.
Yeah,
and Linus is hot. Like, her polygons are pretty sexy.
Right?
Really hot.
And in like last episode, she was like, yeah, he's my true love and he's going to give me the dagger and everything's going to be great. And you get there and he's like ace as fuck and doesn't want anything to do with her.
I only care about daggers.
That's my sexuality, is I only care about daggers.
That was all fantastic.
There was a bit when you go to find Rose getting ready for the party. She's like thinking to herself, and she's like, I guess I'm a hero now. Zieg, she says he, but she means Zieg. Like he would laugh at me, and then she laughs, and she's like, "Whoa, I just laughed. It's been like 10,000 years since I've laughed." And then she laughs again, and she goes, "It was worth the wait." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, I know."
Poor little heartbroken.
That actually was
Rose.
one of the things I wanted to share. Actually, she doesn't just say that. Remember, she goes, it's been 10,000 years since I got this choker.
Oh yeah, she starts.
Oh yeah,
that.
She's literally like, ever since I got this choker and became goth, I haven't laughed.
Yeah, I love
that's
how
what you do when you get a choker. You become goth.
Yeah, I love how it has to be a choker too to be goth, and not just like, oh, I have a magic pendant that's kept me alive for 10,000 years. Like, no, it had to be a choker, and I changed all my clothes to be goth.
Like, her literal backstory is her boyfriend died, she became goth, wore a choker, and never smiled, and is self-conscious enough to be aware of the fact that that's what she did.
It's good, but yeah, the only other little bit besides I loved the animation for Dart and Maru ballroom dancing for their scene at the end.
Oh yeah, that was super cute.
Oh yes, that part was so sweet.
But there's a bit. So the first time they get interrupted at the inn in Fueno, you hear Maru outside the door, and she's like, "Guys, I'm trying to learn about love." And then like comedically, the door pops open and everyone falls in, and they're like, "Whoops!" And there's a little bit of slapstick where they all leave, and then Maru comes back to close the door behind her, and so then they all go downstairs, and Haschel turns to Maru and is like, "Look, I know you're trying to learn about love, but you're being inappropriate, and you don't need to be asking if Dart cheated on Shana with Rose. That's not cool." And she's like, "Yes, I'm sorry, master, whatever." So he turns to Dart and is like, "So did you fuck Rose in the cavern or what?" And then you get a 6-time text box combo bob all at the same time of every single person in the room just goes, "Haschel," and it's great.
It's very good.
It's so good.
I did really enjoy the stuff with Rose and Dart in the cave, where like their sprites are in such a way so that his head is in her lap while he's unconscious, and like I just like it didn't show it, but I had this sense that she was petting his hair, and things like that. And, like she could obviously see Zieg in him, and like she knows that she and Dart aren't going to be together, but she still cares about him, and she's still going to protect him and everything. Like he was the person. My microphone got turned way down. I just noticed.
It'll be okay as long as it's
it should be
off.
Fine. You can adjust audio levels. I believe in you. But that she like. She doesn't see herself as like being in the friend zone or whatever, which is a bullshit concept I'm not going to go into.
Yeah.
But you know, that she like, even though she sees Zieg in him, she knows that she's not meant to be with him and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really sweet moment.
Yeah. And like she only lets herself lets down her walls, starts to like feel and everything, because she knows Dart is asleep, so he won't remember any of it, so it's not going to like complicate things. So when the little boy that found them is like, "Rose, you should tell Dart how you feel," and she's like, "That's not what was happening, just leave me alone."
You don't understand, tiny child.
But it was.
I will say, I forgot about this part a little bit because I forgot that they were in the cave for that scene. I don't know, short memory span, I guess. So that scene happens shortly after you walk through the tiny little one-screen cave. So, you know, like the little juncture dungeon. So when you get to that town and they're like, "So did y'all have a tender moment in the cave?" I'm like, wait, when we were just walking through that one-screen cave, did they like go fuck off screen? And I just didn't see that? Like, because I forgot what he was actually referring to, and I was so confused for a little bit.
But yeah, that does it for the week, and it's a pretty short episode. Mostly just character moments, and there are so many good ones. If you're not playing along with this game, I definitely recommend it, because chapter one is like a real good microcosm of a JRPG, and then chapter 2 is all about character, and it's great. Chapter 3 and chapter 3 and 4 is when like the disc 3 realness happens, and it gets that shit. And like if you're not like super invested, chapters 3 and 4 might not be for you, but like chapter 2 just is like here's a way to tell a character driven drama in a JRPG is kind of beautiful for that.
No, the game very obviously just becomes like a chill hangout game. Like before it had chill hangout vibes, but in this it's like, no, we're literally just having a scene where you're on a boat and you just hang out. And the one dungeon that is a ghost ship, even that there's like no stakes. Like you go there and you're literally just going there to kill time while you wait for the boat to get fixed. Yeah. And I don't mean that as a criticism. That's actually kind of innovative. It's like, what if we just investigated this boat?
Because we're heroes, and that's what we do.
Because it's there.
Yeah. It's good.
It's really good.
I'm still in love with this game. Like because with Rogue Galaxy, I was like going in with high hopes, and like slowly those hopes were being weathered away until they were cut off completely at the last 5 seconds. But this game, like making my way all the way through it, like. I still stand by the fact that it doesn't have any bad parts. So it has like 3 or 4 great parts and no bad parts, and therefore it is a masterpiece, at least to me. But yeah, that'll do it for the week. If you like what we do here, let us know. You can reach us at rpgbookclub@gmail.com, on Twitter @rpgbookclub, or in our Discord, which has a link in the description. And if you really, really like what we do here, you can help us pay for it all by donating at our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/rpgbookclub, or by buying some merch from our store at shop.spreadshirt.com/rpgbookclub. And next week we will play part 1 of chapter 3, which part 1 of chapter 3. This because where we start to like maybe stretch it out is in part 2 of chapter 3. So this is still accurate. Where we're going to stop when we get to the Forbidden Land. You might actually want to stop right before it, because there's a guy that's like, all right, go through this teleporter and you'll go to the Forbidden Land. Would you like to save and shop at the town and stuff first? So you can hit yes, I want to shop at the town and save there. But
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
For RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Almond.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie Webben.
And I love all of you. So have a great time.
Yay! Happy holidays!
And we're not exactly Merry Christmas. We're not going to see you again until after the holidays. So enjoy whatever holiday you celebrate, and I hope you get lots of presents.
Yay! Toodaloo!
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. I finally have smiled again. It was worth the wait.